Hello everyone, welcome to Virtual World. So in this video I am going to show you how you can create a basic server in Node.js using the Express framework. So I have written 5 steps here and we will follow those 5 steps, and at the end we should have a basic Node.js server that will be created with the help of the Express framework. So first we will do hands-on. First we will create a basic server and then we will see the actual definitions of the Node.js and what is ExpressJs. So I will explain you what is Node.js and ExpressJs once we are done with the creation of a basic server. So let's start our video. So first step is to create a folder. So what I will do, so in my desktop you can see I already have a directory or folder by the name of Node.js projects, and inside this I want to create a new folder. Okay, so I will go to cmd and I will write make directory, and let's say the name of this this folder is, let's say, user auth. Okay, now I will go inside this like this way. So what we have done in our step 1, we have created a folder. We have created a folder by the name of user auth. Okay, now what is our step number 2? Step number 2 is to initialize a new Node.js project. So how can you initialize a new Node.js project? Basically, to initialize we have to write npm init. Init means initialize. So there are 2 ways of doing it. Either I can do npm init, and if I will press enter, it will ask me about some details that I have to enter one by one, or I can directly enter a while flag. So that will create a basic initialization, a basic structure. So let's do it this way. If I will say npm init, okay, so it is asking me for the package name. So I want it to be default. I will press enter. Version name, I want it default 1.0.0. I will press enter. Description. So this is the user authentication. Let's keep this as our description. Now our entry point, index.js. Okay, I will press enter. Test command, I will press enter. Repository, enter. Keywords, we can enter keywords here like user auth. Author, we can put our name. License, I want to keep it a default. Now it is saying is this okay, so I will press enter and we will have a basic initialization. Now if I want to see this, I can directly open this folder into our VS Code. I will say code dot, and this will open the application in Node.js, sorry, with VS Code. A package.json file is created. So if I will click on package.json file, you will see we have all of our basic details present here. Okay, now if I want to, let's say, let me delete this file. I will delete it. Okay, so I have deleted that file. Now if I want to initialize it using npm init dash y flag, and if I will press enter, you will see it has automatically generated a basic initialized structure for us. So we have a new package.json file which it has generated itself. Now also, if I want, I can edit this. If I want, I can edit this anytime. Okay, so I guess by this point you would have been known that what is initialization. So this is the initialization of our project. So this was our step number 2. Now what is our step number 3? So let's mark them as done for this step that we have completed. So we have done step number 1. We have done step number 2. Now what is step number 3? Install required dependencies. So in this project, or in this video, we are going to create a Node.js server using Express. So Express is a dependency here. So what we will do is we will install Express. How to do that? We will say npm install, or we can write npm I express and press enter. Okay, so this command has installed Express into our project. We can see that added 64 packages and ordered 65 packages in 10 seconds. Okay, now if I will go to my VS Code, you will see a node modules folder has been generated. Okay, and under dependencies in package.json we can see Express has been added here. So this was our step number 3. So let's mark this as done. Okay. Okay. So now what I will do, I will what is our step number 4? Our step number 4 is create a basic Express server. So we need to create a basic Express server. What I will do, I will create a file by the name of index.js. Okay. Now in this file I am going to create a basic server. How can we do that? So first of all we are going to create a server using Express. So we will have to import Express into this file. Express has been installed, but we need to import it in order to use it. So how can we import it? We will say const express equals to require express. So this will help us import express into this file. Okay. Now the express has been imported. Now I want to create an instance. So I will write const app equals to express. So I created the instance of this express application. So this app will be used, this app, using this app variable, we will be able to call our routes or middlewares. We will be able to access them. So what we have done here, we have created an instance of this express framework or the express application. Now we will create a port variable. So if I will say const port and let's say the value is 3000 for now. I have created a port variable, by the name of port. So these are the basic things that you need to do every time you want to create a basic server. Now there is a function called app.listen that accepts two parameters. The first one is port and the other one is a function. So app.listen, this function is basically used to start our server. Okay, this function is used to start our server and this takes two parameters. The first one is port, on which port you want to start your server. So that's why we have created a variable port here. We could have directly passed the value here, but we use port variable and its significance I will tell you in the part 2 or part 3 of the coming videos. And the second parameter that it takes is a callback function. So inside this callback function, what we will do, we will console that server is running on which port. Okay, so this will give us in a console that our server is running on port 3000 if our server runs successfully. See, we have created an instance of Express application or Express, and this app, using this instance we are able to start our server. So app.listen. Okay, now I also want to create a basic route so that we can see if we are able to access the routes or not. So how can I create a basic route? See, this is used to start the server. This piece of code is used to start the server. What are we doing here? We are creating the instance of Express app. Okay, what are we doing on line number, first line? We are importing the Express. Done. And what are we doing here? We are creating a port variable. So basically I guess This does not need a description. Now we are creating a basic route. So we are going to create a get route. So we know that there are some types of, so there are some ways or some methods through which we can access any route like get, post, put, delete, patch, etc. Right? So we are going to create a get route. So how can we do that? We have to write app dot get. Okay. So this app dot get. So this get function or this get method takes two parameters. The first one is the path through using which you want to access this route. So currently I want to access it on the home. So what does slash means that, let's say if I am visiting google.com, so www.google.com, let's say this is the URL. Okay, basically this is the URL of Google. Let's say this is the URL, and if I put this slash at the end, or if I do not put this slash, so it is by default that slash is present at the last. So this means that we want to visit the home page. We want to visit the home page. So whenever we are specifying or not specifying a slash, this means that we want to visit to the home page of any application. So let's say if I want to visit, so what is our code? 3000. How it will look in our localhost? So this, we are going to run this application on our localhost. Okay, this will look like http localhost 3000 and slash. Okay, I want to visit to this route. Okay, we are creating this route. If let's say if I am adding here user, this means that slash user, we are visiting this route, right? If I am not putting anything after slash, if there is only slash, this means that we are visiting the home page or the base route. Is it clear? Now the second parameter that it takes is a function that has two parameters, basically three parameters, but here we are using two parameters for now. The first one is request and the other one is response. So request is what comes from the client and response is what server sends back to the client. Okay, we will discuss this more on the coming videos. For now, okay, so this looks like this. Now I want to, whenever user goes on this route, I want to send a response. So what I will do, response dot send welcome to the express. Let's say this is what I am sending. So only this is the only code, basically the only code that you require to create a basic server in Express or in Node using the Express framework, right? So let us come here and we have created a basic Express server. Now what is our last step? The last step is to test our application. How can you do that? We will go back to command line interface, and what we will do to run our application, we will do node, and what was the name of our file? Index.js. I will do node index.js and I will press enter. See, it says server is running on 3000. This is what we have put on console here. Server is running on 3000. Okay, I can also add port here. I will let's say, so see, changes are not reflected here. So we will have to kill the server and we will have to run this command again, and we will see server is running on port 3000. So our server is running fine. Now I want to test this. I want to test that I am able to access this route or not. What I will do, I will go to browser, open a new tab, and I will type localhost, and we are running it on 3000. See, we are getting welcome to the Express. So this means that our Express server is running fine. Okay, so let's also test this here. Okay, so what are we doing? We are at localhost 3000. Let me copy this URL and paste it here, and we are using the get method. And if I will click on send, see, we are getting 200 OK, and in response, welcome to the Express. About this extension, I will create a separate video. Basically, you do not need to have Postman, you do not need to install Postman. You can directly use this extension in your VS Code to test the request. Okay, so this was our step number 5. We have also tested our application and it is working fine. So we are done with all these steps. Now let us discuss what is Node.js and what is express.js. Let us see what is Node.js. So for now, as a beginner, you only need to know 3 things about Node. First one is Node.js is open source. Second one is Node.js is cross-platform. And third one is Node.js is a JavaScript runtime environment. Okay. So the first one is Node.js is open source. This means that the code of Node.js is publicly available and it is managed by the contributors from all over the world. So the second one is Node.js is cross-platform. This means that Node.js is not any platform dependent. It can work on any operating system, Mac, Linux, Windows. That's what it means. Okay, Node.js is cross-platform. So third one is Node.js is a JavaScript runtime environment. This means that basically when you write JavaScript code in your text editor, that code cannot perform any task unless you run it. And to run your code, you need runtime environment. So basically, your browsers have that runtime environment, and this is the reason why JavaScript code was only used to create the front-end applications before Node.js was created. Okay, and Node.js, what Node.js does is it provides a runtime environment outside of the browser. Okay, Node.js is built on the Chrome V8 JavaScript engine that makes it possible to build backend applications using the JavaScript programming language. Okay, so Node.js is used to create server-side applications because Node.js provides a runtime environment that is needed for JavaScript to run. Okay, so in a single line or in a single sentence, how can you frame the definition of Node.js? Node.js is an open source and cross-platform JavaScript runtime environment. Okay, and it is built on Chrome V8 JavaScript engine, right? Okay, now what is ExpressJS? So basically, Express is a backend web application framework. So if you go to npm and you will search for Express, see, so you can see this is a package here. This is fast minimalistic web framework for Node.js. Okay, and here is the code to create a basic server that we have just seen. How can we create a basic server in Node.js? Okay, now the second point is Express is designed for building web applications and APIs. So using Express framework, we can build web applications, we can build REST APIs. And the third definition is ExpressJS provides a simple and flexible routing system, middleware function, templates, and error handling features. So basically using ExpressJS, what we can do, we can create a flexible routing system. Routing system means we can create various routes like we have just seen. So this is a basic route. Okay, like this we can create different type of routes. Let's say if I have a bigger application that has many routes, let's say if the first route is /user, the other route is /user /contacts, right? So like this we can have many routes in any application. So Express help us to create routes, complex routes simply. It helps us to create middleware functions. So middleware functions are basically the functions that are called before any route. So let's say if I have a route, so and I have a middleware function, so that middleware function will be called every time before that route is called. Okay, and we will see how can we create a middleware function. So this is used to basically add or remove complexity to our request. Templates. So templates, basically different type of templates like Pug.js is supported by Express. So templates are basically used. Express can directly render the HTML pages in response of a request. Okay, and it has many error handling features. So using Express, we can handle the errors efficiently. If you are getting any errors when we are accessing any route, so you must be familiar with the 404 error or 500 internal server error. So these are the ways in which we handle errors. So these all error handling features are also provided by Express. So that was an overview, a basic idea of about what is ExpressJS and what is Node.js, and how can we create a basic server in Node.js using Express framework. So that was all for this video. I hope you would have got a basic idea of how things are, how we are doing things in Node.js, and we will see more, we will explore more in the part 2 of this video. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Thank you for watching the video.